What is good, friends, and welcome back. Boy, do I have a banger for you today. Skiptide, Leon Del Rio is the star of the version 14.1 coming soon. Why am I so excited about this officer? Simple, he have one skill that will elevate your Navy game. He is a guided missile destroyer specialist from the Vanguard camp. He wears the siege and skills tab. Even though he doesn't have any siege tab, he's best suited with her sister, Tidal Fang, which is also a guided missile destroyer specialist. Together, they will fire and sink a lot of bases and enemy troops as well. So you know the drill. We will examine skill by skill. I will identify which skill is best to awaken first. If we look at the Warpath recommended pairing, they recommend Skiptide with Tidal Fang for field and garrison. Not too sure about garrison. I didn't test this pairing, but for field work, Skiptide Tidal Fang works great. Skiptide and Steel Commodore works even better. I know not everyone have Steel Commodore, but Tidal Fang or Liberty Blaze will be a dynamic duo for the guided missile destroyer. And speaking of testing, stay tuned, because when we finish analyzing his skills, I will share my test footage and you will see the essential, the stuff you need to know. But if you want to access the full data and the full testing sequence, this will be exclusive for members of this channel. I mean, those videos, they do take a lot of work. So if you appreciate what I do for the community, you may consider being a member of the channel. It only costs $1 per month. It's really affordable, and that will let you dive into all the data if this is what you're looking for. So enough yapping and let's see his skills, shall we? All right, friends, let's switch to his awakened portrait. He's posing with Tidal Fang. He's using a flintlock rifle, and I see some vibes of Captain Jack Sparrow with his cutlass, his headband, and all his accoutrement. Okay, so enough of this. His first skill, the fish migration standard version. So before awakening, you will skill cast 1800 damage, and you will gain a damage resist of 20%, with a damage intensity of 5 seconds that will last 8 seconds. Pretty standard here. He doesn't have the best skill damage, but it's up there. His first passive skill, offense type, universal, called Blood of Del Rio, increases the firepower of this officer's troop by 20% and its damage intensity by 15%. Nothing crazy, standard run-of-the-mill skill you have there. His second passive skill, called Stormcaller, it's a balance type, increases the officer's skill boost of this officer's troop by 25% and its officer's skill resilience by 20%. This is a great skill to train for. Not the best, but it's up there. For a balance, it's quite high. If you compare the offense skill of Tide Watcher, which gives you 30% of officer skill boost, you don't get 30% with Skiptide. However, it's doubled by officer skill resilience. If you get shot or if you get hit by an officer skill, this will be mitigated by 20%, which is always useful. So one good skill to train for, but the best skill by far, okay, I'm using Trump hands here, by far, is the special type called Like Fish to Water. It's a skill dedicated or only for the guided missile destroyer. Pay attention here. You cannot train an officer that will be assigned to the anti-aircraft destroyer. Well, you can. However, it's not going to work. It will not take effect. So what's so special about this skill? Commanded guided missile destroyer troop gains plus 12.5% officer skill cast speed and 12.5% firepower. What does it mean? 12.5% skill cast reduction is 1 second skill cast reduction, which means when you engage a target and you start from 0, okay, you cast a second faster, 7 seconds instead of 8 seconds, meaning that you will hit your enemy with the skill shot before you get hit, causing some significant damage. And when he will fire back at you, he won't pack as much firepower because it will have less units trained, right? So this is quite useful, and this skill alone will be a game changer at sea that will give you a significant advantage by casting your skill shot first. It reminds me of Eye of the Providence, and everything is about skill cast now. So the best skill to train only for guided missile destroyer, but if you can awaken Skiptide with all his 4 skills, you will be in a good shape next time you fight at sea. All right, once you awaken all those skills or you level them to level 5, you will unlock the fish migration. It's the same skill. The difference is instead of casting 1800 skill damage, you will cast 2000, plus the damage intensity will be increased by 10% for a total of 15%. Not bad. And I'm telling you, friends, okay, you will see in the test footage in a few seconds, this officer is for real. I may look like I'm overhyping this hero, but trust me, I tried every single officer pairing in this game, and nobody could beat Skiptide with Tidal Fang except Skiptide and Steel Commodore in that specific order. This is important here. If Skiptide is not the captain for some reason, he won't skill shot fast enough, meaning that you will lose the fight. So keep in mind, Skiptide must be captain so you will benefit from the full effect, the full advantage. Let's see the test footage, shall we? Let's start by testing and comparing the skill shot of every officer pairing on the guided missile destroyer. I will start with Steel Commodore and La Sirena, and what I do is I charge on the armor destroyer and I unleash the skill shot and garrison.
Fire on my mark. Fire on my mark. Clear the way. Moving out. Commander. Fire on my mark. Fire on my mark.
Unit versus unit, pay attention to the destroyer on the left side, how fast I will charge the officer's kill. There you have it. I'm 1 second ahead, so I will attack 1 second faster, dealing some tremendous amount of damage. I slow-mo the footage so you can see the special effect, which is quite nice. Now look at that. I have a 5 million HP advantage already. It's too little too late. The enemy cannot beat me at this point, so it's a guaranteed W.
How did I lose this?
I will keep testing now Tidal Fang with Liberty Blaze, and I lose badly.
Still turn this around.
I'm no match for the early skill cast, and then Tidal Fang with Steel Commodore, I lose. Tidal Fang with Rip Current, I lose again. Now with Tide Watcher, I lose again. It doesn't matter. Even Steel Commodore and La Sirena, I lose badly. I have no chance. Steel Commodore and Skiptide almost got it. The only pairing to defeat Skiptide and Tidal Fang is Skiptide with Steel Commodore, as long as Skiptide is a captain. There you have it.
Touchdown.
For base destruction, I recommend Tidal Fang and Skiptide. For field work, go with Skiptide and Steel Commodore. If you don't have Steel Commodore, go with Skiptide and Liberty Blaze. Alright friends, what do you think about Skiptide? I'm convinced I will awaken him as soon as possible. Between him and Terrain Tactician, I think he's more useful. He's dedicated to the Guided Missile Destroyer, which is a key unit for the naval battlefield. For that reason, he's my go-to, is my first pick. Alright, so if you love this content, please give me a like. That will help other commanders reach out for this awesome content. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this new hero. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one. See ya!